What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on Spotify, then welcome back to the podcast. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the 4 biggest things that you need before you get started on your fitness journey. And if you have these 4 things covered and you've actually sat down, planned them and written them out and understand what I'm about to explain, then you're probably going to have a lot more success when it comes to actually reaching your end goal and staying in shape for life, which is pretty much exactly what you should be hoping for in terms of your fitness journey. So the first thing that's extremely important is understanding your why. And this is something that I would get you to write down at the start of your journey. And when I say your why, this is something that you actually need to think about deeply as to why you actually want to get in shape and why you want to stay in shape as well. Because there's going to be a more surface level reason that maybe comes to mind at the moment in terms of I want a 6-pack for my holiday or I want to look good for my wedding. Then there's going to be that deeper reason, which is going to be a little bit more important that you really need to sit down and think about. And when I say the deeper reason, this is what's going to really drive you to stay in shape for life. So this could be that you want to set a great example to your family, you want to set a great example to your kids, be the sporty dad, be the sporty mum and not have a dad bod anymore. This could be that you want to have more success with your dating and that you actually want to feel more attractive around your partner. This could be that you've been bullied all your life and that you actually want to prove to yourself that you are a person that's in good shape, that you have got good athletic ability and that you are someone that's a high performing individual. So you need to think about that before you get started. And as I said, I'd highly recommend you write it down, because anytime you write something down, it just solidifies it and it makes it a lot more likely that you're going to stick to it, to honor it and be disciplined in a time of need. So the first thing is understand your why. The second thing is setting yourself a long-term goal. Now, goal setting is probably one of the most overlooked yet important principles when it comes to getting in shape, when it comes to anything in life that we want to achieve. And when I say goal setting, you can't just sit there and set yourself a really vanilla goal. So I'll speak to a lot of people. I speak to a guy and he'll say, I want a 6-pack. Okay, so how does that look? Oh, I just want to look a little bit leaner. This is not a goal. It's very vanilla and it's very difficult to actually understand what you're trying to achieve, have anything tangible to work towards, any time frames, and you're not going to be able to get to that goal. It's going to be very low chance of success rate if that's the way that you set goals. So what you actually need to do is, again, sit down, write this down, think about what you want to achieve and think about maybe how much weight is it that you want to lose. Okay, I'll give you a bit of an indication. If you're a guy that's wanting to get a 6-pack, you're probably going to need to lose at least 10 kilos, because that's a number that we've worked with hundreds of guys now, and to get them to a low body fat, even the guys that start in maybe better shape, we still end up losing around 10 kilos. It's a ballpark, so some of you may fall kind of just out of that, but that's a good idea. With a female, if your goal is to have, a toned stomach, to have bikini body, then maybe you're going to need to lose at least 1 stone again. But these are just ballpark figures. My recommendation is that you just think about a good number to start off with and dream big with this. Don't just say, I want to lose a few pounds. Like, what is a few pounds? You can lose that overnight. You need to actually set yourself a goal that does scare you a little bit. Like, we'll set a lot of goals for our clients at FitLab and they look at it and think, is that even achievable? It does actually cause them a little bit of anxiety at the start because they've never lost weight in their life. And then when we set them a goal of losing 16 kilos, they don't think that's achievable. So actually set yourself a goal, set yourself a weight target that you are going to try and work towards. Then you need to actually think about setting yourself a deadline. So how long is it going to take? You need to create urgency with your goals. If you set yourself a goal that doesn't have an end date, then it's Parkinson's law for you to just keep procrastinating all the time, never actually work towards getting the job done. You could be trying to achieve your 10 kilo weight loss goal and it could end up taking you months, years, potentially multiple years. Months you'd be probably doing okay if it was maybe 3 to 4 months or something like that, but you need to actually set yourself a firm deadline. And this is why it always helps if you have actual dates that you can work towards that mean something for you. So maybe it is a holiday, which is going to help you in the short run. In the long run, you're probably going to need a deeper reason to want to stay in shape than the holiday, but it's a great short-term goal for you to work towards to initially get in shape. Or maybe it is that you are getting married. Maybe it's that you just got a big weekend away or something that you want to look good for, like a stag do or something like that. These are great reasons too. Obviously, a big thing that we do at FitLab is we do multiple photo shoots with clients. We do at least 2 per year, lots of single group shoots as well for our clients. And the reason why photo shoots work incredibly well is because they document a date where you have to look your best for, or you should want to look your best for. So this often really makes our clients face their demons. They can't talk themselves out of it. They've laid down a date that they're going to work towards, and it really brings the best out of them in terms of them pushing. So suddenly this goal of wanting to have a 6-pack has been broken down into losing 12 kilos by the 6th of December because we've got a photo shoot in London that you want to look your best for. So all of a sudden, this goal is now something that actually has legs and gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning and actually gives you a sense of purpose. So that's the first thing. The second thing is create yourself more short-term goals. And when I say short-term goals, I mean more habits. I mean more process goals. So it's great to set yourself a big goal at the start. Don't get me wrong, I would recommend that you do set yourself a long-term goal. That's important. However, we need to actually break down what needs to happen on a day-to-day basis to get you to that long-term position. The process goals. You need to become very process-driven and not outcome-driven if you want to be successful. This is not just within fitness, this is going to be within anything in life. If you're just focusing on the outcome all the time, you're not going to be as successful. It's the journey, not the destination, which I would agree with. So when we think about process goals, this is going to be the habits that will get you to your long-term goal. So think about what you need to do and the person that you need to become to actually get you to the longer-term goal. So let's break this down. How many steps do we need to do on a day-to-day basis? For most people, you're probably going to need to do at least 10,000 if you really want to see good levels of fat loss. How much protein do I need to eat? Maybe this is going to be 1 gram per pound, roughly for most individuals. How many weight training sessions do I need to do to make sure I sustain my lean physique or I build muscle, I look better? That's important. How much sleep do I need to get, which is often completely overlooked? How much water do I need to drink? So you need to break down as much as possible what you want to achieve so that you have a good idea in terms of what you're shooting for each day. If you want me to send you our free transformation checklist that we give to our clients at FitLab, just to give you a bit of an understanding and just to give you a few ideas in terms of the sort of process goals that you should have, just drop a comment below or just send me a DM with the word transformation and I'll send that through to you completely free, just so you have a good idea. So this is going to be the third thing that you need to make sure you do. Actually set yourself process goals, become habits driven, and ensure that you actually get these done every day. Again, I would advise you write these down. There is just something about writing something down and checking something off that's extremely rewarding, that also gives you a much greater chance of becoming successful doing that. So I'll write everything down, my goals for the day, my goals for the week, for the month, so I know what I'm working towards. And for me to get my highlighter out and just highlight that off knowing I've done it, it's a great feeling. And that's exactly what you should be doing as well in terms of your process goals every single day to ensure that you do get to that long-term destination. And trust me, things compound. So if your goal at the start scares you a little bit in terms of wanting to get that six-pack, in terms of wanting to lose 20 kilos, if you keep doing the processes and becoming the person you need to be to get there, you will have a lot more self-belief in terms of actually reaching that goal and becoming the person that you know that you're destined to become. And the last thing that you need before you get started on a fitness journey is accountability. Arguably, this is going to be the most important thing of them all. We are humans. We are going to negotiate with ourselves. We sometimes find every excuse under the sun not to do things when we don't feel like it. And this is a terrible habit to have and trait as a human being. And even the most motivated and dedicated individuals have mentors, have coaches, have accountability partners, because they know that it's going to increase their chance of success. So if you don't have any form of accountability at the moment, be that even just a friend, an accountability buddy, or your spouse, anyone that can hold you accountable, that you can sit down and explain your goals to, maybe even create some sort of forfeit if you don't honor what you've said. You donate money to charity or something like that if you don't fulfill your promise. Maybe you take your partner out for more date nights if you don't stick to your diet. I don't know, something like that that's going to create more urgency and more dedication for you to actually stick to it. That's accountability, and that's what we all need. Now, obviously the gold standard of accountability is going to come down to a coach, and it goes without saying, you need someone that can actually fight in your corner, that understands the process, that can hold you accountable on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. This is exactly what we do with our clients at FitLab. We get them to check in with us every single week without fail, and we catch up with them in the week, sometimes even daily, to make sure they do what they've been set out to do. This keeps them accountable, and there's a lot less chance of error. Then they think about their actions. They think about what would the consequence of this action be if I don't stick to my steps today, to my diet today. How am I going to check in with my coach at the end of the week? It makes them think twice about whether they should or they shouldn't do something, and it increases their behavior. It increases their good behavior and also increases the chance of them becoming successful with their fitness goals. So accountability is super important. So let me just recap on these 4 things that you need before you get started on your fitness journey. The first is having a deep why. This is super important. Write it down. Think about why this is important to you, why you need to get to this goal, the real anchor to your journey. The second is set yourself a long-term goal, proper long-term goal that actually has tangible targets, timeframes for you to work towards. The third is going to be set more process goals, become habits driven. Start looking at the person you need to become and the traits that you need to have to be successful with your fitness goals. gold, and this is going to compound over time so that the long-term goal is going to look after itself. And the last one is have accountability. This is making sure you have someone that's going to hold you accountable every step of the journey to ensure that you do not mess up, that you stick to what you said you're going to do. You don't negotiate with yourself on a week-to-week and a day-to-day basis in terms of not wanting to do things because you don't feel like it. This is a terrible trait to have. If you only do things when you feel like doing them, you're probably only going to do things 50% of the time, which is going to get you absolutely nowhere. So these are the 4 biggest things you need. I hope you found this video useful. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like this video if you have. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please make sure you're following the podcast. Drop me a 5-star review. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next episode.